In the movie starting, we are shown a Paradise Falls, which is in South America, along with a world-famous explorer named Charles. The whole world knew him because of his various innovations and different discoveries. Once Charles presented a giant bird's skeleton to the entire world, but everyone called Charles a liar, saying that the skeleton he showed didn't belong to any giant bird. Everyone put bad accusations on Charles. Charles was very hurt by this and, leaving behind his entire reputation, set out to find that giant bird alive. This whole story was being watched by a kid named Carl sitting in a theater with a lot of people because Carl also wanted to become a world-famous explorer, and he was a huge fan of Charles. One day while walking, Carl reaches a house where he meets a girl named Ellie. She also loved world-famous exploring. Ellie wanted to play with Carl, but while trying to get a balloon, Carl falls straight down from one floor and his hand gets fractured. At night, Ellie comes to meet Carl and tells him, "What is the adventure in your life? There should be a spirit of adventure in everyone. I have a book. This is such a secret that I haven't told anyone until today." Ellie's dream was to go to Paradise Falls, after which the story moves forward. Carl and Ellie fall in love with each other. They both get married. They both build their new house, which they decorate together, and along with that they also make a mailbox. Their life was going like a very happy couple. A new guest was also about to come into their life. But then a mishap happens with Ellie, and after that, Ellie becomes very depressed. Then Carl and Ellie both think about going to Paradise Falls together. Along with this, they also think about saving money. But as it happens with household needs, being a middle-class family, whatever money they had for traveling was always used up. Because of this, they could never go to Paradise Falls. Slowly they both started getting very old. Age doesn't stop for anyone. Because of this, Carl had decided that he would definitely go to Paradise Falls with Ellie. But the day he was about to give this surprise to Ellie, Ellie's health worsens and Ellie leaves Carl forever and departs from this world. Carl was left completely alone. After Ellie, Carl's lifestyle also changed. He did all his work alone according to his comfort. He didn't like too many people. If any letter came to Carl's mailbox, it was from the old age center, which made Carl even more irritated. Now, when he had somehow lived 80 years of his life, all the property around his house was about to be turned into a mall, and Carl didn't want to give his house to the property owner. After this, we see a kid named Russell. Russell reaches Carl and tells him that he is also a world-famous explorer. He has done camping in many places, and now his last mission is to earn a badge by helping a senior citizen. But Carl didn't want any help from any kid. However, Russell wasn't ready to leave from outside. Because of this, Carl makes up a story saying, "Go find a bird named Dodo that bothers me a lot here." One day, a big JCB was passing by Carl's house. Because of this, the mailbox broke a little. In anger, Carl hits the man who had picked up the mailbox with his stick, and the police take Carl away. After the case was over, it was decided that Carl didn't do it intentionally, but his age wasn't suitable for living alone. The next morning, the old age center people would come to take him. Carl was extremely sad. He had no goal left to live for. While looking at his things, he sees the same book of his wife, Ellie. After flipping through a few pages, Ellie had written about her life inside it. The next morning, when the old age center people come to take Carl, Carl says, "You go ahead, I'll follow behind." In reality, Carl had spent the whole night filling thousands of balloons, and these were helium balloons that flew into the air, taking the entire house with them. Carl was passing through the whole city, and every member of the city was watching this flying house. Carl had also installed fans in it so that he could go to South America according to the direction. Now Carl sits peacefully on his sofa. When all the work was done, someone comes to his door. In reality, it was Russell who had come back to help Carl, and in such a situation, Carl couldn't leave Russell outside. After coming into the house, Russell causes a lot of mischief and Carl can't tolerate all these things. He wants to get Russell off as soon as possible. Because of this, he first covers his ears, but then due to a loud storm, Carl realizes they are about to get caught in a huge storm. Before Carl could manage the steering that controls the house, the entire house starts tilting upside down. He was exhausted. Due to such strong winds and the storm, every item in the house started getting damaged. The next morning when Carl opens his eyes, Russell says, "You had fainted. I handled this house. Although some things got damaged, I still managed to get it out of the storm." But Carl still wanted to send Russell back home. When they came down from the fog, they crashed into big mountains. Now they were neither in a forest nor in a city. Carl was about to fall when he grabbed onto a pipe attached to the house. He stops the house but is standing right on the edge. As the fog clears, Carl sees his dream in front of him, which is Paradise Falls, but he was standing quite far from it. Now how will he fulfill his dream? How will he reach there? Here Russell says, "Let me help you. If we can't take the house there, we can pull it like a kite." Though unwillingly, Carl has to agree with Russell. He ties a big pipe to himself and Russell is with him. They both want to pull the house to the other side. Now a dense jungle starts on the way where we are shown some dogs. These dogs were talking dogs. They had belts fixed around their necks that could bring out their voices. All these dogs were looking for a bird. Here Russell also starts troubling Carl because it had been a long time, and he hadn't gone to the washroom. When Russell goes into the bushes, he has a chocolate in his hand, and Russell realizes that a bird is eating his chocolate. But when Russell calls it out, it wasn't a small bird but a huge giant bird. Russell brings the bird to Carl and Carl gets completely scared and starts shooing it away. In anger, the bird also starts troubling Carl. Carl firmly says that this bird cannot come with them, but the bird doesn't leave Carl and Russell and stays with them. Russell says, "Please, can we take it with us?" After this, as they move forward, they see many mountains in the fog. Russell thinks these mountains look exactly like a dog, but it was a real dog named Doug. As soon as Doug arrives, it starts talking. They are shocked, wondering how this dog can talk. Doug gets very happy seeing Russell here and Russell insists, "Can we keep Doug with us?" Then the same giant bird arrives which was about to attack Doug, but Russell calms it down saying, No, don't attack it. This is a very good doggy." Here the other dogs realize that Doug has seen the giant bird and Doug will soon catch it. But the three dogs also run to where Doug is. Now somehow Carl has to get rid of Doug and this giant bird. Because of this, he throws the ball from his stick far away to distract Doug and throws a piece of chocolate far away to distract the bird. But as soon as Carl and Russell move a little forward, Doug and the giant bird return. Russell says, "I've even named this bird. Its name is Kevin from now on." Now as night falls, the giant bird named Kevin keeps Doug with it. Here, Russell tries hard to make a camp but fails to set up a tent. Then Carl tells Russell, "You've done a lot of camping, so you should know all this." Russell says, "I was hiding something from you. I don't know how to camp. At my house no one stays with me. Dad is always busy with work and my stepmom doesn't even talk to me." Hearing this, Carl feels very bad and now he isn't angry with Russell. Instead he keeps him like a small child. In the morning, Carl thinks Kevin has gone somewhere, but as soon as Russell wakes up, he starts looking for Kevin. Inside, Kevin had thought of taking a lot of food from Carl's house. Then Doug starts talking, saying that Kevin is going to her children. Then Russell realizes that this isn't a male bird but a female bird, and Kevin's children were calling her loudly. Kevin was about to leave when all of Doug's dog friends came to catch her. Kevin sits on top of the house but Carl and Russell get stuck there. Now all these dogs together take Carl, Russell and Doug with them. Inside it was a huge place where there were many dogs. They had a leader and this leader was none other than Charles. Seeing Charles, Carl gets very happy because he was his legendary idol. Carl always wanted to meet Charles and see all his innovations. Here, Charles invites Carl and Russell for dinner, where they see the biggest plane, Spirit of Adventure. After coming inside, Charles tells Carl and Russell, "I've worked hard for so many years but no one believed in me. I will find that giant bird. That's why I came here." Then Charles moves forward and shows maps, saying, "For so many years I've been finding out where this giant bird lives. Where will its family be? And I'm very close to catching it, whether it's alive or dead." Charles also shows the giant bird's skeleton here. Hearing all this, Carl already realizes that Charles's intentions aren't good. He isn't a good person. Instead, he will take the giant bird to people, sell it or kill it. Because of this, Carl thinks about leaving, but then Russell blurts out that it looks exactly like Kevin, who is with us. When Charles hears this, he doesn't let Carl and Russell leave. Here Carl says, "That's enough, our dinner is done, now we should go." But Charles says, "Where are you going now? You should stay with us." But Carl and Russell quickly escape from there and Doug stays with them, showing them the way repeatedly. Kevin realizes that Carl and Russell can't escape with such a heavy house. Because of this, Kevin puts Carl behind her, places Russell on top and starts running with Doug. Doug goes ahead showing the way, but the other dogs together trouble him and are about to knock him down. As Kevin rises, one dog bites Kevin's leg badly. Although they crossed the mountain, Kevin was badly injured. Her entire leg was hurt and she couldn't fly. Russell says, "She saved our lives. We should help her. We should take her to her home." But Carl didn't care about these things at all. Out of a little sympathy, he bandages Kevin's leg and moves forward, seating her inside the house. Russell was happy that Carl was at least helping a little. Finally, Carl and Russell together take Kevin to her home. Here Kevin was about to enter her home, but Doug was with them too. By tracking Doug's location, Charles arrives with all his dogs and throws a big net over Kevin, and at the same time, Charles sets Carl's house on fire. Now Carl doesn't know whether to save Kevin's life or his burning house. Carl chooses his house. Because of this, Charles takes Kevin with him. Russell gets very angry about this, saying, "Why did you do this? You're not a good person. You shouldn't have done this." They took Kevin with them. In anger, Carl also yells at Doug badly, saying he's a very bad dog and shouldn't stay with them. He should leave. Slowly the air in the balloon starts running out. It couldn't lift such a big house. The next morning Russell in anger unties his belt, saying, "I don't want to help any senior citizen. Senior citizens aren't good. They only care about themselves." Carl goes inside his house. He remembers the same old things because now his house wasn't flying in the air. It's possible he might never reach Paradise Falls. He reads the book again, which had many old moments, but remembering all these moments, he resolves that he will fulfill Ellie's dream no matter what. Now Carl gets an idea and he throws every heavy thing out of the house. By throwing out every single thing, he makes the house lighter. As soon as he does this, the entire house starts flying in the air again, but at the same time we see Russell, who flies alone with balloons to save Kevin's life. Here, as the house is flying, Carl realizes again, remembering his wife's words, that the house isn't important, but staying together was important. Because of this, Carl changes his mind again and is ready to help Russell too. When Carl's house is knocked on, it wasn't Russell this time but Doug the dog. Here, Russell had reached Charles's plane with the help of balloons and tried to chase away all the dogs inside. But Russell was caught too. Here, Charles realizes that the small kid Russell has entered the plane, and it's possible that Carl is about to reach them too. Because of this, to distract Carl, Charles ties Russell to a chair and opens the exit path so that Russell falls down. At the same time, Carl arrives, bringing the house right next to the plane and saves the falling Russell. Carl says, "Now you stay here, I'll go save Kevin." With Doug's help, Carl reaches the part of the plane where Kevin was tied up, but there were already many dogs standing as guards. Then Carl distracts all the dogs' attention by throwing a ball from his stick and locks the door from outside. Meanwhile, Russell had untied his ropes and was about to come out of the house to help when his chair falls. But while falling, he grabs a pipe. When Charles was flying the plane, it crashes straight into a mirror. To kill Russell, Charles sends his fighter dogs. On the other side, Carl had reached Charles and was taking Kevin with him, but Charles couldn't let that happen. Because of this, he fights a lot with Carl. Then Carl, along with Kevin, opens the window and starts going upward. But Charles follows behind. Here all the dogs had cornered Doug too. Russell was hanging from a pipe and somehow reaches the house and changes the house's direction. Here Carl and Kevin together reach the top of the plane. When Russell was about to come to get them, Charles arrives and their fight starts again. Because of Charles, everyone was about to get trapped together, but Carl calls everyone out onto the plane. Because of this, the house falls down with Charles. Before the house falls, some balloons get tied to Charles's leg. Here Kevin, Russell and Doug, hanging from the pipe, come back up, and now Carl and Russell fly the plane back to Kevin's home, where Kevin meets her children. Everyone is very happy together and Doug says, "I want to stay with you now." Inside Russell, Carl gets not just one dog but an entire army of dogs, and now Carl also has a new home. Here, when there was a function at Russell's school to give the senior citizen badge, Carl himself arrives to give the badge and says, "I'm his grandpa and he helped me a lot." Finally, all of Russell's badges are completed, and now Carl also gets a new family. In the last scene of the movie with Russell and a dog, we see that their house is standing right at Paradise Falls. And with this, guys, this amazing movie ends here. Do subscribe to the channel if you like the video, and thank you for watching.